let's talk a little bit about housing, because
yes, let's do.
This is one that, the media, as I mentioned, for the last 8.5 years, they've been negative on housing. I could show you headline after headline. Oh, we're in a housing bubble bigger than 2006. Housing doesn't build wealth. Tough year for housing next year, right? And they said this over the last 4 or 5 years, right? So we've obviously, any customers listening to them missed a really big opportunity. But let's face it, the media, they're in the eyeball business. They try to appeal to your amygdala, the part of your brain that registers fear, because it'll get you to listen. But I like to break some of this stuff down with numbers and facts. And this is important for you to share with your customers out there. So let me just pull up a couple slides here and just show you, number one, what the demand side of things look like. So when we take a look, you could see that this is a chart that we've been sharing for many years now. And it's a chart of birth rates. So we know that the median age of a first-time home buyer is 33 years old today. But if we want to see how many 33-year-olds are going to be turning of age to come to market to potentially buy a home, well, we got to go back 33 years ago and look at the birth rates and see how it compares to previous years. Well, it would put you on this chart right here, 1988. So this is how many people are going to be turned 33 years old this year. And that's really providing your new demand component. Well, what do you see happen on this chart next year, the year after, the year after? You see a significant increase in birth rates. What that translates to is more demand each of the next several years, just purely from a demographic standpoint. Remember, this already happened. And then where does it plateau? At some of the highest birth rate levels that we've ever seen. Now, how about inventory levels? So inventory levels, if you want to see what a housing bubble looks like, go back to 2006, 2007. There was 3.7 million homes for sale. There was a big glut of supply. There was not enough demand. There was also some bad loans being done back then. But guess how many homes there are now? This actually isn't updated. 910,000 homes for sale. It's actually a record low inventory level. So you have 2.8 million less homes for sale today than you did in 2007. Now, how about the demand component? Well, there was also population growth. If you take a look at how many households there were in 2007 to today, there's 12 million more households today. And you have favorable demographics for birth rates going forward. So if you really take a look at this whole equation, listen, what drives price in any market? It's supply and demand. Well, you have 2.8 million less homes for sale than 2007, and you have 12 million more on the demand side than 2007. Much more demand than supply, and that's going to be supportive of price. Now, listen, is builders going to be putting some homes up on the market? Sure, but they have a huge backlog. They're still dealing with labor issues, material issues, so they are not going to be able to keep pace.